All right. So again, any questions on last night's homework? Yes.
Number 89.
All right, let's take a look quickly at 89. Let's see how you did. All right, again, we have a proportion we say, so you kind of cross multiply. So you should have said that's 24 plus 8y equals negative 4y.
Oh, I put 1 y because I wasn't looking at the 8 going with the. So what would the final y?
So now, when you're moving things around, you end up with 12y equals negative 24. So y equals negative 2. All right. No, listen. I already said there are many ways to do the problem. All right. The answer that you're interested in is y equals negative 2. If you got y equals negative 2, you're in good shape. If you want, all right, which I think is a pretty good idea, it would not be for you to kind of look how I did it compared with what you did and see if you like what I did. All right. Usually I try to find the quickest way to do these problems. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So anybody else on this worksheet that would like me to do a particular problem before we go into the new worksheet? Yes.
How did you get the 24 plus 8y?
8 times 3 plus y.
Oh, so you did it across. I see what you mean now. I did it here.
All right. Somebody else on this worksheet? Nobody else? Nobody else? All right. So here's what I want you to do now. I'll probably have time at the end of class to kind of look over to make sure you did everything. All right. So I'm going to try to end about 10 minutes early, and that way I can check all of your homework. All right. Right now what we're going to do is we're going to flip back to worksheet 2.8. And I want everybody to notice the first worksheet on mine is already done because I did that with the other class, correct? And that's been recorded, and that's up on YouTube. So tonight, if you're having a little trouble, you can go to the YouTube video, but it would have to be of the 8th grade, not of the 7th grade. Does everybody agree with that? Right, so right now, I'm going to do with us the second worksheet. All right, the first and second worksheet are almost exactly the same. Okay? Well, it just depends on how much work we get done. All right? I'll talk to you about that. All right. So now, for some reason, I was telling the other class that students find this extremely difficult because they're used to just only seeing one variable. Bless you. But in math, most of the time you work with multiple variables. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try to show you how to work with multiple variables. All right? So be patient with me. Let me go through a couple examples and you'll catch on. It's very easy. Now, we're trying to solve this equation for t. So what I want you to do is I want you to underline the variable that you're solving for. You won't always have to do that. All right? But that's what I would like for you to do when you're first starting out. All right, so we're solving for what variable? T. That means I have to get everything around that t. I have to get it, move it away. I'm trying to get t by itself. All right, so if you understand that, what operation holds the 7 and the t together? What operation? Multiplication. So in order for me to undo multiplication, I would have to do what? Divide. Now, I would want you to tell me that the answer is simply t is equal to x over 7. That's how easy. All right? Now, in the past couple days, we always were solving and we were getting a number. Now we're not. All right? You can get a bunch of different letters, all right, in these equations. All right? Now, again, I don't think that was that hard. We're just undoing multiplication. Except in this case, we can't do anything with the x divided by 7. So I'd like to look at number 2 real quick. So that means most of you, if you understood number 1, number 2 is easy also. So I would want you to write down, underline P, because that's the one you're solving for. And now you can say P is equal to what? R over W. That's how simple this is. R over W. Not hard at all. Now, obviously, as we go down, it's getting a little bit harder each time. So stick with me now. Now I'm going over to question number 3. I'm solving for R, right? The problem is I have 2 R's. So we got to combine them. So that means I'm going to move this minus R over to the right side. And that's going to give me what?
2R.
2R. Very good. So I want you to write down now Q equals 2R.
Oh, alright.
And now I still have to isolate the R. So I would divide by 2. So you can now tell me that R is just what?
Q over 2.
Q over 2. All right? That's pretty easy. All right, but as I said, it's getting harder. So let's take a look at number 4. Now remember, what I want you to try to think about is that I want to try to keep the variables positive, correct? So I'm going to bring the M over, and then I'm going to move the T over. If I do that, what does that simplify to? Close. Not 5M.
3M.
You see why it's 3M? Yeah, because we're subtracting. So then you would write 3M equals T. That's right. Signs change. So now you should be able to tell me that M is just what?
Negative.
Just T over 3, right?
Oops.
M equals T over 3.
So is the variable always on top?
No.
Why was because T?
What do you want to be negative?
Never mind.
All right. Here we go. Let's take a look now at question number 5. Sorry. All right, for number 5. All right. Combining terms. So in this case, I'm going to move the 7A over. So now be real careful. Negative B equals 8A. Anybody have issues with that? And so now A is equal to,
Negative B over 8.
yes, negative B over 8. Negative B over 8.
It took a few minutes starting.
Yep. All right, let's take a look at 6. What are we doing for 6? All right, so D is equal to what? 7C. So C is equal to D over 7. That's not that hard. All right, now let's keep going. Like I said, it's getting a little bit harder now. Now we're going to solve for Y. Eventually we will, but not first. Yes. Move the X over. We got to move the garbage, right? X is garbage, so I'm going to take this garbage and I'm going to throw it to the other side. When I throw the garbage to the other side, it becomes what? Negative X, right? So look, so I have negative 2Y is equal to negative X plus 1. Everybody understand that? The X was positive on the right, so on the left it's what? Negative. All right. Now what I have to do? What's my next step? How do I undo multiplication? We're isolating the y.
Oh, right.
Divide by what?
-2.
Yeah, divide by -2.
Okay.
So now I need your attention here because I'm going to show you lots of different possibilities here. That's one answer. All right. Now sometimes I have multiple choice tests, so sometimes the answer can be disguised. All right. So now I'm going to write something and I want you to tell me if it's the same thing. Is that the same thing? Yeah, because all I did was I switched the 1 and the x, right? Now I'm going to write something else. You tell me if this is the same.
No. Wait, you can change the negative. No,
Right. Yeah, so what I did, guys, now pay attention, please, so you can understand. This is well hidden. I simply multiplied the top fraction by -1 and the bottom fraction by -1, or the denominator by negative. Right? Is it possible to multiply a fraction, the top and bottom, by -1? Yeah, it's kind of like multiplying the top and bottom by 2. When you multiply the top and bottom by -1, it doesn't change. It looks like it's different, but it isn't. It looks like it's different, but it's not. All right? So all 3 of these things so far are the same. I want to write one more up here to see if you're good. That's also the same as right? Does everybody see that? I'm just individually dividing both of those by 2. That's why that's the same. All right? It'd be really good for you to understand all of those are exactly the same. Do they look the same?
No.
No, they don't look the same. But if you understand numbers, you can tell that they are the same. All right? It's kind of like the first time my teacher told me 2/4 was the same as 1/2. I kind of told him he wasn't too smart, right? Because 2/4 can't equal 1/2. All right, that was before I understood what? Fractions. Now it's obvious, but it wasn't obvious at the time. The same thing here. Might not be obvious the first time, but if you understand numbers, then it's really obvious. All right, so if you don't see the obvious, you're supposed to ask me, and I'll show you the obvious. All right? So let's continue on with number 8 now. All right, now, here is what I want you to, everybody in here, look up, look up, look up. Stop writing. If somebody asks you to solve for n, here is how fast I want you to be able to do it. All right, and if you understand numbers, this is easy. All right, here's what I want you to tell me. I want you to say that n is equal to 1 minus d over 3. Right? You could have also said -d plus 1 divided by 3, and I wouldn't care. All right? So again, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm solving for n, which means d is out, not in the right spot. So d has to go where? On the other side. If I move something to the other side, it becomes what? Negative, right? If it's positive on the left, it's negative on the right. And then this was connected by multiplication, so I had to do what? I had to divide. All right, that's how I want you to be able to do it. There's really not much work there if you understand numbers. None at all. All right, so now let's see if we have a brave person who wants to try to tell me what the answer is for number 9. Mr. Stauffer, go.
F equals -g plus 5/7.
F equals negative G plus 5 over 7. Beautiful and easy. Yes.
What I got 7. I got 5 minus G over 7.
Is that the same thing? Yes.
Okay, good.
All right. So remember now, even if yours is a little bit different, I want you to be smart enough to tell me if it's the same. That is the same. 5 minus G over 7 is the same. Everybody happy with that? All right. Let's see who's brave on number 10.
I'm not.
Solving for X. Yes.
B plus C over A equals X.
You are amazing. X equals B plus C over A. Beautiful work. Any questions with that? Any questions? Any questions? All right, let's see if I can make it really hard. Number 11. I'm solving for T. Go.
Let's see if we can get this right. T equals y minus 2n over r.
Very, very close. Now I want you to find your mistake.
I didn't get rid of it.
These two. Positive what?
Y plus 2n.
Yep, y plus 2n.
You're close. Oh.
You see that, right? It was negative over here, so on the other side it's going to be positive.
Oh, I see.
Very good. Right? All right, let's see who's thinking about number 12 properly. Angles.
C equals negative 3G plus 2K over B.
How about that? Is everybody good?
Yeah.
I told you guys. Look up on the board if you want to see.
It's just like simple.
It is. The difference here is that we're not combining the terms. We're just leaving it alone. That's all. It's really easy. Really, really easy. All right. Mr. Herring's doing the next one. Hold on. Number 13. Solve for n. I'm ready.
N equals 9v minus 4f.
9v minus 4f all over k. Is that what you said? Any objections to that? I told you guys. Very easy. All right. Very, very easy. All right. Here we go. Strange or danger? You haven't been here for 3 days. Let's see what you're doing. On number 14, let's see if being absent was okay. Go.
Well, I could have done the last one maybe.
You can do 14.
I believe in you,
Shh. Go.
C equals
Wow, so far so good.
40p minus 6j.
Okay, now your mistake here. Now, for some reason, you multiplied. All right, so you're okay. So solving for C, listen to me. Look how easy. You're taking this and throwing it to the other side. Shh. So what is it going to become?
5p
And then when you move 6j over, it becomes?
minus 6j.
That's how easy. Right? Now you have to get rid of the 8.
Over 8.
That's how easy. Seriously, that's all there is to it. Nothing to it. All right. Don't be confused. 15 is a little bit different, but I want to see now who's actually thinking independently that really doesn't need my help. Try 15. What do I have to do? You tell me what I do first.
First you multiply by 2.
Very good. Multiply by 2, and then?
And then plus.
You're awesome. Tell me the answer then.
M equals 2e plus c.
Amazing. Good job. Very, very good.
Oh, you multiply